On December 20th, 2025, very shocking news spread fast. James Ransone, an actor with an unforgettable face, died at the age of 46. Many people knew him best as Ziggy Sobotka from the famous TV show The Wire, but he was also loved for many other intense and different roles in movies. This news brought much sadness and confusion to his fans and fellow actors across the industry. James Ransone had a truly successful career that was cut short too soon. He was famous for his strong and varied acting, always giving a powerful and memorable performance. People were deeply sad and wondered what had truly happened to such a gifted person. James Ransone was more than just a celebrated actor. He was also a loving husband and a caring father to his children. For many years, he had talked openly about his sobriety, sharing his journey of overcoming past problems with honesty. To many, it seemed like he had bravely won over his personal demons and was living a full, happy life. This left a big, unanswered question. What hidden battle was he truly fighting inside? What unseen struggles did he face that no one close to him knew about or saw? This is not only a story about a tragic and sudden death, it is also about the quiet, difficult struggles that can happen to people, even those who appear successful. It is about the silent battles that actors often hide behind the bright lights and movie cameras.
But to truly understand the sad end of his life, we must first go back to where it all began for him. We need to look closely at the very start of his acting journey. This means going to a single, very important role he played on a dock in Baltimore. This one role made his career take off and brought him great fame. However, this same role would also stay with him forever. It would become a part of his life that followed him, sometimes haunting him for all his remaining years until the end. 2. A big role. The Wire was more than just a TV show. It changed how people thought about television dramas. Many called it one of the greatest ever made. The show offered a very deep look into the city of Baltimore, focusing on its different parts: the police, the drug dealers, the politicians, and even the schools. It showed how these big systems often failed the people living within them. Unlike many shows, The Wire did not have simple good or bad characters. Every person was complex and real. This new way of telling stories had a huge effect on many TV shows that came after it, making it a very important part of culture. In 2003, James Ransone got a major role in the second season of this groundbreaking show. He played Ziggy Sobotka, the troubled and impulsive son of a dock union leader. Ziggy was known for his big ideas that often went wrong. He was a mix of charming and completely lost, which made viewers feel many things for him. Sometimes they liked him. Sometimes they felt annoyed or sad. Ziggy quickly became one of the show's most talked about characters, even though he was only in one season. He was always trying to get money through small crimes, even when his father wanted him to follow an honest path. James Ransone played Ziggy with great skill. He made the character's foolishness and sadness very believable. One scene people always remember is when Ziggy walks through Baltimore with a live duck wearing a diamond necklace. This and other scenes showed Ziggy's wild and often self-destructive actions. Ransone put a lot of effort into making Ziggy feel very human, even when Ziggy did strange or upsetting things. This powerful role brought Ransone a lot of fame and attention. However, it also came with a downside, which Ransone himself called a double-edged sword. Because he played Ziggy so perfectly, many people in Hollywood started to see him only as that kind of unstable and troubled character. It became very difficult for him to get different types of roles. He was stuck being typecast as Ziggy, struggling to show he could do more. The role that made him famous also limited his career choices. People in the industry often linked James Ransone to Ziggy's wild image. Did playing such a character start to change his own life path, or did it just make people see him in a certain way?
We need to look closer at the challenges that came with his new fame. While the world of acting saw him as the chaotic Ziggy, James Ransone was fighting a very personal and serious war inside himself. This quiet battle had begun many years before he ever stepped onto the set of The Wire. It was a secret he would carry with him for decades, hidden from public view. A dark secret. Long before James Ransone became known for his acting, he carried a very dark and painful secret. In 2021, he decided to share this hidden part of his life with the world. He posted a long message on Instagram, bravely telling everyone about the childhood sexual abuse he had suffered. When James was just 12 years old in 1992, a tutor named Timothy Rualo hurt him many times over a period of 6 months. James remembered the deep trauma this caused. He wrote about his strongest memory, washing blood and feces out of his own bed sheets, feeling a huge lifetime of shame and embarrassment. He felt too scared and ashamed to tell anyone what was happening to him. This secret sorrow and pain stayed with him for many decades, affecting much of his early life and how he saw himself. James clearly explained how this early trauma was directly connected to the struggles he faced as a young adult. For 5 years, he battled a serious heroin addiction. He used drugs and alcohol as a way to cope with the intense emotional pain and memories from his past.
This was his way of trying to heal himself, a form of self-medication to numb the deep sadness, guilt, and shame that he carried inside. This difficult period of addiction began and deeply shaped his life long before he found fame in Hollywood or on shows like The Wire. The true root of his pain was in these difficult, hidden childhood experiences. Even after many years, James found the strength to face his past. In March 2020, he bravely went to the Baltimore County Police and reported the abuse. He hoped the legal system would bring him justice for what had happened to him so long ago. However, the police investigation could not bring any charges against his abuser. Prosecutors explained that it was very hard to prove child abuse cases that occurred so far in the past, especially without new evidence. This outcome from the justice system was devastating for James. It left a deep, painful scar on his heart that never truly healed, pushing him to a critical breaking point. This difficult moment led him to make a very big, life-changing decision about his future. 4. A new start. James Ransone made a big change in his life. When he was 27 years old, he had a very clear moment. For 5 years, he had been using heroin. But one morning, he woke up and a thought came to him. My job is being an actor. This is crazy. This was a turning point. He decided to get sober and stop using drugs. This important decision came right before he got a major acting job.
He was offered a big role in a TV show called Generation Kill. He was listed as number 2 on the call sheet, which meant he was one of the main actors. This new responsibility gave him a new focus. He remembered going to Africa for almost a year to film the show. During this time, he stayed sober. He poured all his energy into his acting work. This period marked a new start for his career. James began to work with highly respected directors. These included David Simon, who created The Wire, Spike Lee, and Sean Baker. He appeared in many different films and TV shows. He proved to everyone that he was a versatile and talented actor. He was much more than just the character Ziggy Sobotka. He became well known in horror movies, earning the name horror legend. He played roles in films like Sinister, which came out in 2012. He also starred in its sequel, Sinister 2, in 2015, where he was the main character. In 2019, he was part of a big cast in It Chapter 2, playing the adult Eddie Kasprak. He also worked on The Black Phone in 2021. These roles showed his strength as an actor and his ability to survive tough challenges. He was now sober, successful, and building a good life. He married Jamie McPhee in 2017, and they had 2 children. On the surface, it seemed he had overcome his personal struggles and found happiness.
However, the entertainment business itself faces a serious mental health problem. Even strong survivors like James were always at risk. What happens when your workplace causes constant stress and does not offer stable support? 5. A sad problem. James Ransone's death was very sad, but it also showed a bigger problem in Hollywood. Many people who work in movies and TV shows face serious mental health issues. A study in 2024 by the Film and TV Charity found that many workers, about 35%, said their mental health was poor or very poor. Even more worrying, 30% had thoughts of suicide in the past 12 months. Other studies also show this issue. Between 2011 and 2015, actors and entertainers had some of the highest suicide rates compared to other jobs. A study of Australian entertainment workers found they had 4 to 5 times more plans for suicide than other people. They also had more than double the number of actual suicide attempts. Why is this happening? Work in entertainment is often not steady. People can have no work for a long time, then work very hard for short, intense periods. This makes life hard to plan and causes much stress. There is also often a toxic culture with unfair power and bad behavior. Many freelance workers cannot easily get help for mental health because they lack good health care and support. This means James Ransone's story is not just about him.
It shows a widespread, silent problem that many people in the industry face. Even successful people like him live with constant stress and the pressure to always appear strong and happy. They often feel they cannot show their true struggles, fearing it will hurt their careers. This creates a facade, a false front of success and well-being. What does this problem mean for the families of those who are struggling? How do they cope when someone they love is fighting a hidden battle? Just days before James Ransone's death, his wife, Jamie McPhee, made a public post online. She asked people to give money to a mental health group called NAMI. Looking back, this post feels like a quiet, heartbreaking alarm that no one heard. 6. A wife's message. Just days before James Ransone passed away, his wife, Jamie McPhee, made a public post. She started a fundraiser to support the National Alliance on Mental Illness, known as NAMI. This message raised many questions after James's death. Was it a quiet cry for help? Was it just a sad coincidence? Or did Jamie know that her husband was facing a deep, immediate crisis? Jamie had always kept their private life very quiet. She did not like public attention. She was a strong support for James through his past struggles. She stood by him when he bravely spoke about his childhood abuse and his long journey to stay sober. They had 2 children, Jack and Violet, and they worked hard to keep their family life away from the public eye.
Jamie's message showed the hard truth of a partner trying to help someone with a hidden struggle. It showed the feeling of being alone when a loved one fights an invisible battle that others cannot see. While his wife was working to bring attention to mental health, James Ransone's final days were unfolding in silence. No one knew what he was going through. Later, the police report would show the quiet, sad way his death happened. 7. The last days. The final days of James Ransone's life ended on Friday, December 20th, 2025. He was 46 years old. Police responded to a call about an undetermined death at his home in Los Angeles. The Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's Office later said that Ransone had died by suicide. There were no signs of foul play. It appeared he was alone when he died, and no one saw any warning signs beforehand. The news shocked many people in the entertainment world.
People remembered Ransone for his powerful acting and kind spirit. David Simon, who created The Wire and worked with Ransone on other shows, called his death grievous and awful. Simon spoke about Ransone's dedication to his work and how he built strong friendships on set. He said Ransone committed to the work and to the friendly feeling that makes a film team feel like family. Colleagues and fans shared many messages. They praised him as a caring professional and a great actor, calling him a horror legend for his roles in scary movies.
These public tributes showed a man who was loved and respected by many. He was seen as a successful actor, a husband, and a father who had been sober for many years. But this public image hid a deep, private pain. Ransone faced an inner struggle that nobody could truly see. His death highlighted a sad truth. A person can be surrounded by love and respect, but still feel completely alone in their suffering. James Ransone's story is a tragedy. It shows a life full of great talent and unbearable pain. His death brings much sadness, but it also leaves behind an important question for the movie and TV industry, an industry he gave his life to. 8. What we learn. James Ransone was a truly versatile actor. He brought a lot of human feeling to the characters he played, even those who were deeply flawed. Think of Ziggy Sabatka from The Wire, a character many viewers loved and hated. Ransone also became a well-known face in horror movies, showing his wide range of talent. His performances were impactful and stayed with audiences. However, Ransone's life also serves as a cautionary tale for all of us. His journey shows the silent struggles many people face, especially those in the public eye. His death forces us to look closely at some very important issues. One main theme from his life is the lasting shadow of trauma. Ransone lived with the pain of childhood sexual abuse for many years.
This early trauma deeply affected him, leading to years of addiction as he tried to cope with his feelings. Even though he found sobriety and built a successful career, the lifetime of shame and embarrassment, described in his own words, never truly disappeared. This shows how past wounds can stay with a person for a very long time, affecting them quietly. Another difficult part of his story points to problems in the justice system. When Ransone bravely reported his abuse decades later, the police investigation could not bring charges. This outcome left him without the full justice he sought, adding another layer of unhealed pain. It highlights how difficult it can be for survivors to get justice, especially when so much time has passed. Finally, Ransone's story shines a bright, sad light on the mental health crisis within the entertainment industry. Research shows that a large number of people who work in film and television experience depression, anxiety, and even suicidal thoughts. This comes from things like job insecurity,
constant pressure and a sometimes difficult work culture. His journey shows that personal strength and resilience, while very important, are often not enough on their own. People need strong support systems and structural changes within the industry. Therefore, James Ransone's legacy is not just in the many powerful performances he gave us. It is also in the important conversation his death makes us have.
It urges us to think about the hidden cost of the entertainment we consume. It reminds us that successful careers can hide deep pain. We must prioritize better mental health resources, easier access to help, and a more caring environment for everyone working in the industry. What changes do you think Hollywood should make to truly support the mental health of its actors and crew?
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.